hope everybody is doing well today. It is April 6th, 2020. I want to start off by talking about isolation. I know it's really tough right now. I know that we're being tried on a different level. Our normal way of life, whether it was you getting up in the morning early, having a cup of coffee, getting dressed, showering, going out to work, coming home, doing chores, Saturday going to Home Depot, going to the local bookstore, reading some books, going to the mall, going out to a restaurant, whatever it was that you normally do, we have drastically, without much warning, have had to stay inside and isolate ourselves. And that can take a toll on people mentally and physically if you're not very active too. So I want to talk about that real quick. I know it's hard. I encourage you all to try to keep a normal routine as best as you can. I myself continuously get up in the morning at the same time that I would normally go to work. I will get dressed, put my shoes on, even if I'm walking around the house. I will eat breakfast. I will do things around the house that need to be done, chores, projects that I've been putting off. And then around the same time I would normally get off of work, I would take my shoes, socks off, change in my different clothes, my house clothes, and, go about the rest of my day and then go to bed at a decent time. And it's been working for me so far. I struggle from now and then a little bit. I got to change things up. Sometimes I'll go out in the backyard, get some fresh air, look up at the beautiful sky, look at the clouds. So I encourage you guys to try to find a routine that's comfortable for you, that keeps you busy, keeps your mind off of the news, and keeps your mind off of the negativity that could creep up when we're isolating ourselves. But always remember too that God is faithful. He's faithful no matter how you feel, no matter how alone you are, no matter how isolated you are. He's there with you. He loves you more than you can ever possibly know, or you can even comprehend. I'm reminded of a verse from Psalm 16:11. It says, "You will show me the path of life. In your presence is fullness of joy. In your right hand there are pleasures forevermore." Now, your relationship with God can fulfill all of your need. I encourage you to seek Him. You will personally experience His love for you. Now, with that said, let's move on to the world cases. World cases are 1,340,456. World deaths, 74,442. Total recovered, 278,156. Now we have a good idea of our current infections minus the recovered. And out of that number, 940,360, which is 95% of the current infections, are mild. Also out of the current infections, and we look at the 5%, which is the 47,498 that are considered serious or critical. And let me remind you that out of that 47,498 people that are critical or serious, 99% of them end up recovering. They don't end up dying. United States. We've got a total of 363,424 cases. Deaths in the United States are 10,764, and that's up 1,148 in 24 hours. I'm going to add in a new one here. Out of all of the 363,424 cases in the United States, 8,878 people are considered serious or critical. Let's go to Italy. Italy has 132,547, and that is up 3,599 new cases in Italy. That's going down. They were much higher than that every day with new cases. Their deaths are 16,523, and that's up 636. Now, and in Italy, out of the 132,547 cases, 3,898 are considered serious or critical condition. So as you can see, that number there is a low number compared to how many are infected and compared to the population. Now let's move into the states. California has 15,823 cases. Deaths are at 372, and that is up 25 deaths in 24 hours. Texas, 7,320 infections. Deaths at 144, and that is up 11 in 24 hours. Kentucky has 1,008 cases with 59 deaths, and that is up 14 deaths in 24 hours. And Nevada has 1,953 cases and 46 deaths, and that is up 0 in 24 hours. So no new cases as of today, which is around 4 o'clock p.m. That number might go up by a few. They report their numbers a little bit later than the other stats that I've received. And of course, things can change as the night progresses. So those are our cases. Okay. This is day one of our week that the government said is going to be very critical. I saw a report out of ABC News that just said this week is the best week to not even go to the grocery store all week. So if you can not go to the grocery store just for this week, that would probably be a good idea to stay indoors, maybe eat that food that you bought for an emergency, and you probably should be eating that now, just until you can go grocery shopping after this week. All right, let's see. Positive story time. I should probably come up with a little melody when I get to the positive stories. I think I'm going to do that. Okay. Positive stories. Here's a good one. Dr. Anthony Cardillo. He is the CEO of Mend Urgent Care based out of Los Angeles. And it says a Los Angeles doctor says he has seen significant success in prescribing the malaria drug hydroxychloroquine in combination with zinc to treat the severely ill patients. He says this, and I quote, "Every patient I've prescribed it to has been very, very ill, and within 8 to 12 hours, they were basically symptom-free." He says, but it only works with zinc in combination, end quote. So what that means is that the hydroxychloroquine, which President Trump has touted, as they love to say on the news, this drug is being tested around the United States, and this specific doctor that we know now by name and his credentials, he is saying that it is working with all his patients. Now, he's only prescribing it to the very, very ill. And the reason for that is because hydroxychloroquine, which we've never really needed besides for malaria and some lupus, if we give it to everybody as a prophylactic, so if we give it to people that are just experiencing mild symptoms or something before they even get the illness or in the very beginning of their illness, then we could run out of that drug very fast. And so right now, just because it's in the beginning of the outbreak, they are going to only give it to the severely ill because the majority of people can get well on their own. Eventually, you'll see if this drug comes out to be the perfect drug in combination with many other things. You will see this then being prescribed when you first feel the symptoms of the virus or you first test positive, even if you don't show symptoms. And therefore, the virus potentially will never become serious at all. That will eventually happen probably a lot quicker than the vaccine when it comes out. So, okay, some other news. At the current mutation rate of this COVID virus, it's good for vaccine development. So that means that the virus is not mutating fast enough to where it would be difficult for us to make a vaccine that would work. it's mutating slow enough that we are able to develop a vaccine that can cover multiple strains. So that is good news. And lastly, but not least, Australian researchers are in the midst of testing 2 drugs to cure the virus. So that's a little different than a vaccine. A cure would eliminate the virus completely, where a vaccine can be used as a preventative tool. So that's 2 drugs they're saying. They don't say what 2 drugs, so that is good that we're coming along in fighting and defeating this virus. Remember, all glory goes to our Lord in heaven. All right, that wraps it up for today. A little quicker video than usual. Remember our devotion. Keep yourself busy. Talk to people. I encourage you to do video conferencing. There's an app called Zoom. If you have an iPhone, you can FaceTime your family, your friends. Get out there into the social media world, as long as it's in a positive environment. They say pick your friends wisely. Pick your social media topics and groups wisely. That's my little tip for the day. But anyway, it was a pleasure talking with all of you. I hope that everything goes well for you tonight, that you all have a good sleep, that your mind is rested, and that we stay positive and we're strong. God bless you. I'll see you tomorrow. And remember, stay safe.